and how you lock them up and stuff. One of the things that they decided to do too is to help you experience the game environment in the world. You will be able to find through quests and through special events and stuff like that additional points to attribute points, basically.
Yeah. So, which is good.
Have you done a dungeon yet?
Like a proper dungeon? Probably not.
Can't remember what level you get those at in beta now. I think it's 10. The traps are so obvious. It was kind of a real bummer for me. Because that was part of the dungeons in like the Skyrim. Is sometimes you trip something not seeing it, and it'd not be a good thing. It'd kill you. Here they're so obvious. It's like, huh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you? I mean, what are your overall impressions? Just meh.
I'm not overly. I'm not really overly impressed. I mean, it's got glimmers of ideas, of good ideas, that didn't follow through. I mean, again, the whole weapons system plus class system is a decent idea that I think could work out, but I mean, I think they've made it too convoluted.
This reminds me of the grave. Great memories.
The whole idea of the weapons leveling, but the weapons leveling don't give you skill points for the weapons. Skill points by leveling gives you skill points for everything. So if I want to level up a weapon, it doesn't matter how much I use it, except for the fact that it will allow me to put a skill point in a different skill. I don't earn skill points from using it. I only earn the ability to put a point into it.
Yep.
Which is just weird. And
yeah, that's what I thought.
And beyond that, I mean, to think of crafting being part of that, like, why would I put a point into crafting from my combat classes?
Well, like I said, because that's how the game Skyrim does it. But like with Skyrim, you unlock the ability, like if you put in points into blacksmithing, for example, you would first unlock, I can't remember, the iron, steel, had the ability to craft steel stuff.
Good looking.
But it was only like, the trees are only 10 points long, so they might be trying to do the same thing there with that.
Yeah, but you could legitimately level up in Skyrim using things like crafting.
Exactly. You could literally level them up by using it. You can't do that here. So I don't know why they did that. It's really bizarre.
It should have had its own leveling system with its own skill points. Kind of like the weapons. The weapons should have their own skill points so that you can unlock them. I mean, kind of like, that's what that's the funny thing, is they're trying to emulate Guild Wars here. But Guild Wars did it that way. They gave you a weapon, and you didn't level it, and you didn't gain abilities with that weapon until you actually used that weapon. And then your level didn't matter. You got the weapon skill because you used the weapon.
Yep, that's exactly what I feel like. They mimic. I'm seeing little bits and glimmers of, like I said, of mimicking other MMOs, and not really doing anything that stands out on its own as, a new feature for an MMO. Or if there are, like I said, they're half-ass implemented. But it definitely doesn't have the overall bang. This is a new MMO. This is a Skyrim storyline. It feels like cookie cutter with little bits of Skyrim thrown in. That's the impression I get, which is sad, because it didn't used to. The thing that makes, and you don't really see this because you haven't played the other, betas, but I can tell you from closed beta back, like when they started this project, this is an entirely different game, and that's why I'm so angry, because they had it. They had it, and people were saying, "Oh, it's not going to be good enough for the MMO crowd." And they completely forgot their target audience, which was not the typical MMO crowd. So the devs basically caved.
Hello.
So, and that's why I'm not happy with it.
Well, the thing is, if they would have done it right with the, I mean, the whole Skyrim or so the whole Elder Scrolls thing. I mean, yeah. I mean, it might not have been good. It might not have been right for a MMO crowd if that's what you're trying to draw in. But then, if you're going to draw in the MMO crowd, you've got to go and do that part right. You can't do that part half-assed. So if you do that part half-assed, then you alienate the MMO crowd and you alienate the people who want a good Elder Scrolls game.
But see, that's
So you've lost out on both audiences.
Not really, because the people who are interested in this, the mass majority of the original people who signed up for the beta and stuff like that, were dedicated hardcore. Your dedicated hardcore Skyrim type players who did not like the typical MMO. They liked this. They like Skyrim, and then so they basically, when the whole dev switched everything up, they basically said, you know what, we're going to target this after the typical MMO crowd, and I think they're going to lose a lot of customers due to that.
Okay.
The overall feedback that you're seeing on, well, like you said, on the forums and everywhere you've been seeing, is that it's not what people were expecting.
So let me take a look at what I've got here. I can turn Destructive Touch into Destructive Clinch. Magic damage to target. Fire causes knockback. Frost causes freeze. Shock causes disorient. New effect adds additional elemental effects. Doesn't tell me exactly what, but that's kind of cool. This one is increased range, so that's kind of neat. Now that's the other thing. I like the ability to morph an ability into something else. Yep. I think that's a really neat idea. I kind of wish it would tell me what it could do when I mouse over it, or if I could click on ability that I don't have to see what it can morph into. I have no way of telling where I should spend my points.
Well, you do have advanced tooltipping turned on, right?
Possibly.
You should check, because it is an option.
Where would that option be?
Main settings.
Action bar.
Almost. Yeah, I don't know if you have it on or not.
Gameplay.
Indicators. Targets. No.
I mean, I haven't seen anything that indicates the tooltips I'm looking at are not advanced.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean, there is no way to see, as far as I can tell,
it's not telling you, yeah,
what it's going to split into until it happens, because you have to click on this thing, the little icon on the side, to say morph.
Huh.
Alright, well, I've gotten to... Oh man, I'm not level 12 yet. I need to get level 12 with my Ardent Flame. Damn it.
We'll go use it some more.
Whoa.
Hey, you don't have much.
So yeah, lights. I mean, what you're seeing here. I mean, and here's the thing, and I want to kind of make it clear. I don't think it's a bad game. It's not bad, and it might look. It looks pretty nice, but the problem is, I think there are games that do it better.
For me, it's not what was expected. In particular, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, when they advertise a Skyrim type MMO for, you know, Elder Scrolls series, that's what I expect. I don't expect a generic-esque MMO with some Skyrim bits added. So for me, it was just, like I said, not what was expected, and from seeing where it went to what it is now, it was a real disappointment for me. So, but that's, you know, it's all personal. You know, everybody, it's, you know, I like games that you hate, and vice versa. So, you know, it's not everybody's cup of tea. But
Oddly feels barren. It feels oddly barren in the world. Like, I feel like I should be seeing more monsters or something. Like, I'm running through a lot of vast emptiness.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, maybe they just haven't populated the world with everything. Or maybe it is fairly empty.
Go. Spread our gift.
Yeah, smoothing the hills out, the rocks have sharp corners. Yeah, that's very unlike Skyrim. Also, like I said, that's part of the cookie cutter MMO stuff. And I'm pretty sure the reason they did that is so that it runs on lower end PCs. Because they obviously, if you see the art in other areas, have the means to do much higher geometry. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't overly impressed, unfortunately.
I find it interesting that they do have the red circles or the red damage areas that let you know, hey, an ability is about to happen. But I don't see it very often. So far, it hasn't been very often at all. I just don't know. I mean, I look at it. If I want a traditional MMO, I could go to Final Fantasy, which does the traditional MMO thing very well. Does it almost as well as WoW, and I happen to like where they're going with it, and the fact that they're updating it a lot.
Was a Breton, steel and stone. How could you ask? High, defensible cliffs. My orders are to watch them until we're not.
Well, I'm waiting for Star Citizens.
I mean, well, yeah, but I mean, Final Fantasy is a great traditional MMO. I really like it. I think they've got a great aesthetic. They've got skills feel good, abilities feel good. Then if I want an action RPG, I'm looking at WildStar as kind of the contender right now for action RPGs. And the reason why I like Final Fantasy, for example, is it's a great hybrid of traditional MMO with action MMO. Because it has a lot of dodge the stuff on the ground, dodge the damage areas, and things like that. You have to be active in that game a little more so than you would in the past.
Now, what have we here? Out for a stroll? Enjoying the scenery? Just exploring.
It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I mean, like I said, it's got a good number of positive and negative feedback, and I don't know how it's going to do being the way it is with the subscription market.
And that's just it. I just don't see enough here, really.
I mean, I agree with you completely. I don't either. I mean, shit. Even the free-to-play. Why am I blanking the name of it? Oh, we were playing it just a while ago. Why am I blanking the name of it? The other one we were playing. Damn it. Neverwinter. There we go. Even that has more content than this. When it launched as free-to-play. So, granted, this is beta, so you're not seeing everything, but I think where it's at is a pretty good indication of what it'll be like when it launches. We're pretty damn close. Oh joy. Windows just update again. Thank you, Adobe. Well, at least I'll have a pretty good gaming rig set up. The thing that also takes away from me, I mean, if they left the combat system in, with more like what it was in the original Skyrim, where as a, sword-wielding character in first-person mode, if I swing and move my character slightly in one direction, he'll slash his sword one way versus going the other. Or like on console, you would control it directly with the thumbsticks. If you had that kind of fidelity in controlling this, I think it would change a lot.
Well, even then, I don't even think it has to have that, because again, I know that would be very difficult in an MMO setting, because we're talking about lots of people in one setting doing a lot of minute motions, having to calculate where someone's going to swing, things like that. Even without that, even if they added different combos, like make the dual wield have a different kind of combo, or maybe give it some basic moves that you can perform without having to spend points, or maybe just unlock all the level 1 skills of every weapon, so that I could swap between the weapons and have something to do with that weapon. I don't know. But I mean, like, if there was a combo of some kind.
Yeah. Well, there were other MMOs that have done that successfully.
Yeah.
Even with combos, like even on directions. Look at...
I sense great power in the staff will
Conan.
reveal circles of corruption among the crypts. There lurk the Bloodthorn cult's abominations, hidden in...
There was an MMO that was ahead of its time.
Trying to figure out when I'm going to level here. I'm like level 11 Ardent Flame. I don't know why I'm not gaining that much experience on it. I don't know. I mean, I could be coming in with a preconceived notion about the game. I mean, I have no preconceived notions about Elder Scrolls because I haven't really played it.
Because you've never played it, so... but you have preconceived notions of other MMOs, and if you're thinking it's feeling generic cookie-cutter MMO, and I'm telling you that that's who the devs changed the pace of this game to go after that market, and you're thinking it's pretty cookie-cutter, that doesn't bode well. It really doesn't. This needed to be able to either stand on its own from the other MMOs. To be successful, it'll have to either stand on its own as a MMO, not even of the Skyrim type, but just as an MMO that has something wow and spectacular different from everything else that will attract people. It doesn't. Or it had to be more like Skyrim and be completely unlike the other MMOs out there, and they had to go after the traditional Elder Scrolls player. So they didn't do either of those. So it's kind of somewhere in between. And, saying that it's going to be a subscription-based market for this is, I think, going to be a problem.
It's just, I'm trying to think of, is my disappointment kind of because I knew I wasn't very interested in the game? Is there really legitimately something wrong? I mean, like I said, it's weird. It's like there are certain things about it that I seem to like. There are glimmers of hope here. There's like parts of the combat that I actually find fun. But
so listen, do a pros and cons list. That's probably going to be your best way of putting your finger on it.
That's kind of what I've been doing the entire time. I've been kind of sitting here like, what is it? I mean, there are definitely the issue with the weapons all feeling the same annoys me. Definitely annoys me. Because I feel like if I'm swinging, the only difference between swinging a one-handed sword and a two-handed sword is attacks a little bit slower. And the range, and one big thing, you weren't here when I was talking about it, was the range combat. The range combat feels a little more powerful than the melee combat. The melee combat feels meatier.
Still, they still have that problem. That was a problem when the open beta first started. If you're still feeling that, that's not good. Because it was major OP. I mean, it was a lot easier to kill stuff ranged than it was with sword and shield.
Well, let me put it this way. Well, the thing is, a sword and a shield I expect to be a little weaker because it's, tanking.
Yeah.
Why can't I interact with this thing? Is it because I'm disguised?
But you've disappointed me so much by watching this again and reminding me why I stopped playing it. I'm gonna eat a brownie and make myself happy.
Ah.
Fat kid food. Hey, off-topic subject here. I've got to send you a whole bunch of pictures and videos that I've been capturing since I've been stuck on these shift. The only good thing about being stuck on the 4 a.m. shift is that I get some amazing sunrise photos. I'll have to send them to you. I've already sent 2 of them off to a couple of companies that do like professional photography stuff, and they're going to resell them. They wanted to buy the rights to them, so I was like, sure, go for it. So I made like $100 off of it just from a cell phone snap in the air. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I'll have to send them to you. So. Yeah, other than that, I've been missing a lot of what you've been doing, what you guys have been doing, because, you know, you're on late at night, and, well, I would normally have to get up in an hour from now to go to work.
I can't do anything here. I'm supposed to use... I guess this is bugged. I'm supposed to kill the Abomination of Hate, but it won't spawn.
You're disguised.
Yeah, even without the disguise.
Oh, it's because all the people are there. I bet you it's because they, well, all the people are there. They gotta wait for it to respawn. That was another common problem when I was playing. The main things you needed to kill, the big bosses and stuff, had a long respawn timer.
Well, and that's silly too, because like I mean the hearing that quests don't track among party members.
Nope.
Seriously.
Yep. Stupid, isn't it?
There's so many mistakes they've made that are avoidable that you could look at other MMOs and say, you know, this is not right.
Yep, I totally agree. There are several decisions that are like, why did they do this? That are, you know, proven hardships in other MMOs, and even normal single-player stuff would be obnoxious.
I think, you know, and I think one of the things that annoys me about the weapons being the same, it was really what it is that all the weapons have the same move sets. They all work in exactly the same way. In other words, single attack. I've already gone over this like multiple times. I'm sure people might be, well, if anyone's here from the beginning, might be tired of hearing it. But the idea is you have a single attack, you single swing, you have a block, and you have a pushback that interrupts abilities. I mean, these are abilities I expect to see on the sword and board, but all of the other weapons do it.
You don't, I don't think you have an Xbox, Xbone One, do you?
No.
There's a game that came out on that. I've played it. My friend of mine has an Xbox One. It's that new Combat One. I think it's not Rise. I think is the name of it or something like that. But it reminded me of this actually when I played it, because you have some special moves you can do, but there's only like 16 different ways to kill somebody. And you do it so often, it becomes so rinse and repeat that it gets aesthetically very boring very quick. And I think this suffers from that too. I mean, even World of Warcraft, you cast spells like 5-6 different ways. You know?
I'm going to move on to the next thing. I really just want to get to level 12 Ardent Flame so I can get my ultimate and try it out.
It does, yeah. That's good too. Yeah, you're close.
Yeah, there's only like one other quest though, which kind of concerns me.
At least this isn't as blatantly bad as oh, what was that first-person shooter MMO that?
Defiance?
Defiance, yes.
Sad part is I had said at one point that I kind of enjoyed the game, but the truth of the matter is, when I thought about it afterwards, the only reason I was enjoying the game is because we were playing it together.
Yep.
And as I tried playing it on my own, I'm like, I'm not having near as much fun.
Yeah, no. It's definitely a game to play, multiplayer and play with friends, and even then, it's
Yeah, but the problem with that statement is that you can say that about many games.
oh yeah,
So many games are better with friends.
But I mean, the whole reason I bought you that game is so you can demo the failings in it. I'm wondering if this.
Oh, and it had so many. Dude, I've been getting emails all the time about that game getting updates, and I'm like looking at it and I'm like, wow, that doesn't sound interesting. I think I'll pass.
Yeah, me too.
Strange that such a
Nothing interesting added for me.
I suppose it doesn't help that I haven't been watching the TV show.
Hold on, let's think about this.
I was going to, but I saw the first episode and then
They lost me after like episode 5 or 6. It was just yeah.
Did that.
it wasn't that I lost interest, it was that I just didn't I kept missing it, and at this point it's like, well, now I don't even care.
See, that's why there's this thing called Hulu or Netflix. You should look into it.
Oh, screw Hulu Flicks.
Hulu Flicks. Oh, we don't have regular TV here, man. We stream everything. It's the way to go. Well, I'm significantly happier after having my fudge brownie. That was awesome. Hopefully my dog doesn't eat any of it. Here we go.
Alright, what am I supposed to do here? Am I supposed to just come here? That was it?
And that's the other thing that interested me and surprised me. No swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a modern MMO, that's like a what? And even in the game, Skyrim, there was a lot of swimming. They have underwater spells and breathing spells and stuff entirely done underwater. So that really surprised me.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I noticed that the first time, and I'm like, what? Why can't I swim?
Yeah. It really just was one of those other detractors for me.
I mean, yeah, and like I said, they could have done this so much. The idea that I can be a caster with heavy armor intrigues me.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew that was one of the big things that really made Elder Scrolls,
Mm-hmm.
that you could go out with sword and fireball. You know, you could go out in the heavy armor and still be a massive arcane caster. And there's glimmers of that, and it just didn't have the follow through.
They couldn't. Part of the reason being that those became OP. You know, you can't, and that's part of. I knew that was going to be an issue they were going to face with something like that in an MMO, but even so.
Well, they've kind of got it because each of the armors has different passives that do different things. I mean, obviously each one is skewed to a different type. Heavy armor is skewed to tanking, medium armor is skewed to damage, and light armor is skewed to casting because of its arcane regen. But you could still do heavy armor as a caster and get the defensive buffs and the healing regeneration and shit like that.
But you're penalized for it still. So.
Well, it's less being penalized is that you don't get the bonuses of the other sets.
Which is a penalty if you're facing somebody who has those bonuses. So yeah, that's just it. And they don't seem like much when you look at the stats, but when you start getting to the higher levels, I'm hearing it's pretty significant.
Use the visions as guides.
Which is kind of a bummer because that was the big thing about what are you doing here? We're gonna go level. Go kill something.
I'm trying to. I'm doing my questing.
You were jumping around in circles on a rock. That's what you were doing.
So close. Alright. J.
Yeah, it's just, you know. Feels like a too generic cookie cutter for me, it really does. With some Skyrim-esque stuff. I don't know, you know, and the other thing that I found, I don't know if have you been reading the storylines and actually going through it?
Up until now, yeah. Now I'm just trying to power level so I can get this done.
Were they interesting to you?
Well, I mean, really what I was doing was just trying to get a ship, so it really wasn't all that intriguing.
Exactly. That's the problem I had. I mean, if I go back to my first Skyrim, and I'm going to have to reinstall it now. Part of the reason I liked playing Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls is it actually had pretty interesting quests, and some of them, depending on what you were doing, got to be pretty damn dark. You know, there's a whole rape scene basically in Skyrim, if you know where to look, that you pretty much save somebody from being raped. So
there were some parts, like I noticed the crew that you had is kind of a little bit nebulous in their morality.
Yeah.
I you know, like the poison for that one pirate chick, you know, it was like, oh, you know, you know, when she tells you what the poison does, like, oh man, that's nasty.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, so there's a little bit there, but yeah, I mean, overall, was it like
not impressive? That's
but here's the thing too, is this is the starting tutorial zone. So I'm like, I know starting tutorial zones, no matter where they are,
that's
not great.
That's the total mistake. That's one of the things Skyrim does, and the Elder Scrolls series is historically known for, is they throw you from the very beginning into a really bad situation that we barely survive out of. I mean, in Skyrim, you're about to have your head chopped off at the opening scene, and a dragon comes in and saves your ass by killing the whole city, and you barely escape. And it teaches you how to go through the game through that. That was nothing like this. This felt like humdrum, any MMO. I am so bored. These are horrible. Go get this quest. It didn't really feel impressive. Not like, and that's a mistake. Because like I said, all the other Elder Scrolls games, they do that. They throw you into the mix right at the beginning into a situation where it's very intriguing. You're like, what the hell's going on? You're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that was one issue that I had. Kind of with Final Fantasy, was that the opening was pretty droll. Just because it did very standard MMO fare. Here are all your fetch quests in town and do them now, so that you learn the mechanics.
I stopped playing that one, to be honest with you, is I got bored with it. It's like, I've done shit like this before, but I want to do it again. So that's kind of why I stopped playing that one. I didn't want to play another World of Warcraft. Otherwise, if I did, I'd go back to World of Warcraft. Got some of my friends who contact me. I haven't talked with them in like 6 years, and they're like, "You should try World of Warcraft again." I'm like, "Only if I can be that ugly panda." That's a joke, by the way.
Indeed. It's just that the intro, the whole beginning of that is really just a bunch of series of quests. But the good news is you can skip them, because if you do the story quest, you do 3 things that show you where the most important things in the city are that you need, and then after that you leave and you go out and you kill shit. But all the quests around you, which are optional, do kind of teach you the mechanics of here's how to interact with this, that, and the other thing. It's very standard fare, but they did it for a reason. They were trying to make Final Fantasy an MMO that people that might normally not get into MMOs to enjoy.
Exactly. Well, that's how I felt this one was going to be. And going back to the same thing again, rinse and repeating, I felt like when they announced this game, they're like, wow, this is going to be an MMO designed just like Skyrim for people who don't like MMOs. And we're going to give them multiplayer in Skyrim. That's kind of what the original design and idea was. And then it morphed into we need to be more like a traditional MMO somewhere along the line from the bean counters.
Yeah. But the good news is once you got past that one part, the rest of it was actually fairly decent. I ended up liking a lot of the other stuff. You know, once I got beyond that, I was like, yeah, you know, the combat and all that stuff was pretty good. Now, I've unlocked Dragon Knight Standard. Let's see. Target self, range 15 meters, radius 8 meters, duration 12 seconds, cost 200 ultimate. So yeah, you've got your own resource for ultimates, which is really just a super bar when you think about it. That's all it really is, fighting game super bar. So, enemies take 17 flame damage every second, receive 50% less healing for 12 seconds. While on Dragon Knight Standard, an ally may activate the Shackle synergy, damaging and immobilizing enemies in the area. So that's the thing, there's a synergy apparently. And I notice there's a synergy button, I think it's X.
Gotta try it.
Controls.
Experience it. Like I did.
Yeah, synergy is X. So you can synergize with other players' ultimates. That's kind of a neat idea. I can't synergize my own, I take it, right? Let's go where the players are, see if we can't get someone to use it. See what happens. I think that's cool. I mean, if they've got like abilities that you can synergize with, and people can do a really cool ability based on something that you've done or based on your ultimate, I think that's kind of cool.
It is. It's. It was pretty neat when I was going through it. I kind of liked it. I am kind of curious though what you're gonna find here. I wonder how many other people have them.
All right, let's yeah, we got bugged enemies here. Like there's a guy standing here that isn't doing anything.
Use it. Use it. Ah, somebody did their ultimate. You had an X to impale sign there.
Oh, I didn't even see it. People are playing instruments. How the hell?
Yeah.
Is that an emote or is that an item?
I can't remember, to be honest with you.
One guy's playing the drums, one's playing the lute.
I think it's an item. You pick it up and then you can use it.
Yeah, oh, flute. It's an emote. It's an emote.
It is an emote.
Because I just did slash flute. Slash drum. Slash guitar. How do you spell guitar? Am I spelling it wrong?
Oh wow, my video is way behind yours. Like a good 40 seconds lag.
Oh yeah, that's Twitch. Standard Twitch.
Oh yeah, well no, it used to be better, but I guess it's standard
Oh,
now.
it's gotten much worse, especially since the consoles are on board now.
Well, I was about to say that's probably because of the PS4.
I can hammer things. That's hilarious.
It's a bummer you missed that synergy.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah, it was right in the middle of the screen, right above. I don't know how you could have missed it.
Whoops. There we go.
Oh,
There it is. There's my standard. Yar. Behold and be amazed. It's kind of neat though. How do I see what my synergy bar is at? Or my, not synergy, ultimate bar.
yeah, it fills up.
Where? I don't even see it.
I think the icon. It was full, and then basically it looked like you could use it, so it was like active. And then you had a message on the screen right where that other text is, like where it says "use," like when you mouse over something, it's like "use" or "interact" or something like that. You had one that was press X for synergy and said "X to impale." So it was there. See, built a little up. See that?
I'm playing a lute right now.
Oh, okay. Well, when you attack shit, it was building up.
Okay, I gotta give them credit. That is creative. I love the fact that there are emotes for playing instruments. I think that may have made the game a little bit better in my eyes.
Does it play a default song, or can you change the song?
I don't know.
Why not?
Oh man, Karik, yeah, I've kind of gone through it a few times, but I can go through it again. Thoughts are, the game feels sadly generic. There's glimmers of hope here, but I don't think the game in its current incarnation is really all that great. I kind of enjoy the melee combat more than the range combat, even though range combat is a little stronger right now, or at least it seems to be, because you can do a lot of damage at range, at least with the bow and arrow.
whatever that guy was channeling on the ground, and when you had full synergy and you were standing in that, you would have been able to use the bar.
But you know, you pick a class and you have specific class abilities, right? Like you would from any MMO, which is great. Then you have weapons. Every character can use any weapon, and all the weapons have the same abilities. So almost like Guild Wars. I like that because it allows you to use whatever weapon you want with different classes. Downside, you level, and the levels that you get you can put either into your skills, your class skills, your weapon skills, or your armor. And yeah, I'm like, even worse, that also goes into your crafting. So when you level up, you have to decide, hey, maybe I want to craft something later. Maybe I should put something in the crafting. But then you don't get the strength in combat. I don't know. There are some things I like, some things I don't. Obviously, I'm so middle of the road of it. I just don't think it's going to be. It just doesn't seem worth it to spend the $60 and the $15 a month. Like if it were a one-time purchase with microtransactions like Guild Wars does, where it's all pretty much cosmetic, that would probably be kind of okay. That's really my thoughts there. See, the thing is about this mob is it's supposed to spawn when you use your item on it. And I saw it and I used it and then it just never spawned. It's just fully broke.
Fully broke.
I have some really cool skills. I mean, I've got this Scorpion Come Here ability, I've got this Flame Slash, I've got a Stab. Stab in the gut, stab! That's right.
Well, my hero situation, I gotta press the reload button.
I mean, you get an ultimate ability, which is kind of cool. I like the fact that there's a synergy. Apparently, you've got a button to use synergies when someone else uses an ultimate. So, I mean, there's like these great ideas with the combat, right? The ability to be a caster wearing heavy armor. The ability to be a fighter wearing light armor if you wanted to. The customizing your class abilities as well as your weapon skills. And some of these weapon skills are pretty cool. I mean, the ultimate and synergy bonuses is reminiscent of the combo fields in Guild Wars, only cooler because it's actually very specifically an ultimate, and it makes you do really cool abilities. Downside. So right now there's no collision. Supposedly that will be added in the next patch. For whatever reason, it wasn't ready for this beta. So I can walk through enemies and it makes things feel weird because I end up missing my hits from time to time and I like don't have an indicator why. But as Copernicus there says, combat's floaty in this game, and I don't think I really like that. When we played Neverwinter, one of the big things I said is I love the fact that everything you do in Neverwinter has impact. You hit something, there's not only a really strong sound of my sword hitting something, but there's like a little bit of a shake, there's a little bit of a movement, there's animation from the enemy, there's animation from my character. The way my character moves feels like he actually put weight into the swing. You know, you get a little of that from some of the animations, but not a lot. And then you can just kind of move around freeform while swinging your sword. Whereas in Neverwinter, you kind of had to do a quick stop for a moment, and actually put the heft into it. So it does feel very, very floaty. Yes, Kirk, they're only just adding it. It's not in yet. I think it's in the. I think anyone that's on the prolonged beta might actually be able to do it. I'm not, or might be able to try that patch. I'm not sure. I think it might not come until after this weekend, though. So at least when the collision detection comes in, it'll feel, the melee combat will feel a bit better. When I tried the range combat, though, I had the same feeling of floatiness. I used the bow and arrow, and while it was very strong, I was nearly killing things in one hit. I didn't feel like there was enough feedback of knowing when I hit or where my arrow was going, and it didn't feel like a strong hit. Like I fired my arrow, and then the monster lost a chunk of health, and then started coming after me. Like there was no reaction to it, or it didn't feel like there was a thunk. Like I look at Neverwinter and my archer in that game, and when I fire an arrow at somebody, there's a thunk. It's like doof. So even with collision detection, I think that might make it feel better melee-wise, but I don't think it's going to add the meat of the combat, the impact, you know, that it's missing. I mean, that's the big thing, is the combat just doesn't have that impact. I dislike the fact that all the weapons have the same primary combo, just a little bit slower if it's a two-handed. And all of them have the same block and pushback, and it's like the weapons have no difference except for the skills. And what's sad about that is that you have to use a weapon without a skill for a little bit until you can unlock a skill. So I really think they should at least give you the level 1 skill for free, but you know, that's me. Either that or add a combo system, you know, like Dragon's Prophet, where if you attack a couple times and then right click, you can do a special move or something. So like have the guy with the shield actually use the shield, but have like the guy that dual wields do something unique, or you know, I don't know, just something to make it feel a little bit different other than the skills maybe. I mean, once you get the skills, that doesn't matter as much, and I guess that's the problem, right? Is at level 1 is when it feels bad, and then later on it's okay, kind of. But you only get 5 skills to your name plus an ultimate, so I don't know. It's there are so many little things that make me think, oh man, that was kind of cool, and then it's offset by the, oh man, this is kind of humdrum. Oh, this is kind of boring. And then there's this. I literally cannot progress my quest. I'm on a story quest that I can't do. So that puts my adventures at an end at this point. I haven't tried an actual dungeon, so I don't know how that is. I like the fact that you upgrade skills when they get to a certain level. So you buy it, and then once it gets to level 4, you can upgrade it to a second type of version of it, which has new abilities, or an additional ability. And you have to choose one of 2 paths. Like for my extended chains here, I could choose this is an ability that pulls the enemy towards me. If I branched out on it, I can make it so that the next ability or next weapon skill I use had more damage, so I could pull them in and then do a bigger hit. Or the one I chose is the version that had longer range, so I can pull enemies really far. And every single ability you have has that duality, which is really cool. Even your class skills, and even I think, yeah, even your weapons have that ability. I got this ransack from an ability I had previously. It was so all your weapons have 2 different ways they can go. All of your class skills have 2 different ways they can go. There's a lot good. There's a lot bad. It doesn't seem to do any one thing particularly great, though. If they could expand on this whole synergies thing, or ultimates and some of the combat, stop making me feel like I'm missing the enemy when I'm swinging at them. And there's abilities I don't even know what they're for. Like, you've got this thing called the soul magic. You can do a soul trap that gives you a soul gem if the enemy dies. But I haven't gotten a soul gem, and I didn't know what that was until I died. And then when I died, it says, oh yeah, you can use a soul gem to resurrect where your body is. I'm like, great. How do I get soul gems? I have no idea. But I've got the spell to do it. They give you the spell right away from level 1. I slotted it because it does damage over time.
Yep. Well, soul gems, like as in part of all, that's another thing. Throwback from Skyrim. They're items you have to either purchase or find by dungeon crawling or the loot basically. And depending upon the size of the soul gem, depends upon the size of the soul you can save, which in the games actually ended up used to charge weapons and stuff with for spells. So in this, they're using it slightly different, which is kind of weird. I have no idea where you get those. I never found out myself.
Yeah, but I know it's a way for you to revive yourself where you stand, so...
Yep.
Well, nothing's really going on here, and this is kind of... I was kind of expecting to end it after I got the ultimate so I could try it. I'm going to use it one more time. I'm going to see if I can't get someone to use the synergy on it. I mean, it's just sad because I see, like, this combat, the abilities I have, pull in, strike, stab, I feel good. I feel pretty powerful. But, yeah. I'm kind of limited in my build because I can only have 5 slots. I really dislike the fact that chests are one-time use by any player. Some player finds it before you, it's gone. Oh, another stuck mob.
Yeah, I'm kind of wonder what Force thinks of the game. I'd have to actually go look at
He's
that one.
released quite a bit of videos, actually. I think he might still like it. I'm not sure.
Destroy!
Because I haven't looked. I haven't really watched the videos, so I don't know. Oh, can't loot any more items. I like how I can wear any type of armor, even if I don't have the proficiency for it. It's just that the proficiencies give you more bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
Kark's saying he likes it. I wanted, I was really hoping, honestly, that everything I had heard was just people thinking that the game was a bad Elder Scrolls game. I really kind of wanted to see, maybe I was wrong, maybe all the rumors were wrong. And it's going to be one of those games where, I'm not going to say you're going to love it or hate it, because I don't hate it. That's the problem. I just don't love it.
It's the problem I've got. It's just like meh,
Yeah, I'm very meh, whatever, on it. I mean, I almost feel like I did when I was started out with, well, maybe not started off. Almost like by the time I stopped playing Dragon's Prophet, I liked Dragon's Prophet at first, and then there was just something about it didn't quite hook. Something about this game is just not hooking for me. And I think, you know what, if the complaints I've had about it are not a big deal for you, then you should play it. I just don't think it's worth the 60+ sub fee, for my money, for my tastes. But, to each their own. You like it? You like it. Great. If you get value out of that, great. Play it. Enjoy it.
How long did it take you to get to level 6?
Oh gosh, I've been streaming all night.
No, not all night. Since about 9 o'clock. Well, 9 o'clock Central Time.
Oh, hold on. I can know early by looking at my...
Email. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Social. Okay, fine. 6:39 p.m.
So somewhere between 6 to 8 hours. Which isn't a very high level for that.
You must suck.
No, I just don't have quests that are working.
Yeah, they're all bugged. How about that?
Yeah, I agree. Leveling does seem slow. I don't know on that one. It's weird because when I played WildStar, leveling was slow in that one too. So I just don't know if maybe I'm expecting to level faster than I should. Maybe I'm just used to Final Fantasy because I can get to level 5 in like 10 minutes in that game. And then after that it slows down. I always felt that the early levels should be fairly quick, and in this one it's not really. Yeah. Alright, let me... Come on, I want someone to use my ultimate. Someone come here. Come here and use my ultimate. Who, You. Use my ultimate. Synergize. Well, it didn't even matter. The guy died, so the ultimate went away. The moment the monster died, the stand went away. It shouldn't have done that. It's a buff. It's a buff banner. Why would... That's got to be a bug. It's got to be a bug, but that completely makes it stupid is what it makes it. God,
You have to be drilling on somebody for a while, huh?
Yeah.
To make it useful. Yeah,
Well, maybe you just have to make sure it goes on the ground, because what happened is I landed this banner on him. Like, I literally landed the banner on his head. So, yeah. I mean, I just have these really cool skills that I really like. So, like, I want to like the combat. I want to like the game. There's this stuff that seems really cool, but... I just don't feel like I care enough to slog through this slow leveling grind to try all these skills. It's just... And yeah, I've got 5 attribute points. Attribute points don't increase your damage, I don't believe. Magicka, which is basically my magic points. Health, and stamina. So your attribute points don't really help your damage, they help your survivability. That's all they're really for. Alright, I think I've had enough. I think I've had it. And I can't even do anything anyway. I might try another class, see how it feels. But this is the Dragon Knight, I do believe, is my character. Yeah, this is the Dragon Knight. He's got some neat abilities. Fire and Flames. Kind of a tanky-ish class. He's got some tanking abilities. Especially in the Earthen Heart. You know what? Go away. Go away. I almost want to make a mage tank. Like, go and get a sorcerer, put him in heavy armor, give him a sword and shield, and make him tank. Like, I don't know what abilities the sorcerer gets, but I want to know if I could do it. I mean, you could do that with this game. You really could. Alright, I've like rambled for like the last hour or two, I think. Saying kind of the same shit over and over again.
I've noticed. It's alright. A couple new people came on to hear the rambling, so.
Stamina determines weapon damage and weapon ability damage. Yeah, okay, it does. There is damage. There is a way to get your damage up with stamina. Let me click that up. Doesn't say. Determines weapon damage. Oh well. I'll pop it up a few notches there. Get the health up as well. There we go. I wasn't having a hard time killing anything though, is the sad part. I'm killing things quickly without leveling my stamina to kill. So there's that. There is that. So thank you, gents. So
Well,
they corrected me. I was wrong. I was wrong about the damage thing. I'm surprised by that, to be honest with you, because you know the Magicka just says how many spells you can cast. It does say how effective, but it doesn't really specifically say damage. So I look at those and it's like they're not standard attributes that you put points into, so it's just kind of odd. But it's there. I don't think it's a big deal. I got health and stamina. Okay. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming by the stream. I actually got a decent amount of people. I put the stream advertisement on YouTube, actually. So, failed logging out? What? Beta. Please keep in mind this is beta content. Everything we are talking about today is an unfinished product and hasn't had its latest patch released to include some new features. Like logging out, apparently, yes. Like collision detection and all that. I mean, I don't know how much different it's going to be, but I honestly think if you're going to have an open beta weekend like this, you should have included the biggest feature of your next patch. I feel like they're doing themselves a serious disservice with this.
You don't want to get me started on that.
It's crazy. It's like they knew this is coming. They knew their patch was coming. They could have held off on the weekend. I don't know.
Their betas seem more, since they went open beta, seem more of a show and tell rather than they do for real testing purposes to me. Have you tried submitting a bug report?
I'm not.
You should try that next time. See how easy it's not.
You spin me right round, baby, like a record. Spin. Oh, God.
I love how your hair goes through your shield.
I know, I mentioned that before. It's like, I hate that. It is a huge peeve of mine when stuff clips like that all the time. Man. Whatever.
You should set a cat character to see how many options there are with cats.
Indeed. Alright. Once again, I want to thank everyone that came by, and it's been an entertaining stream, for me anyway. I don't know about you guys. I'm the only one that matters, so whatever. I'm kidding.
No, he's not.
It's actually been pretty fun, because there's been some people, interacting. I really like it when people interact, because it makes things more interesting. For myself, I think it makes things more interesting for the people watching, and it helps to get questions answered, and it helps me to try and show off things, like if I forget something, or if I'm not sure about something. So it's been great. So the beta itself has been fairly smooth. I mean, this is the first game-breaking bug I've really run across. The first quest I couldn't complete, and that's from playing for several hours, so it's fairly smooth right now. It's just not my cup of tea, I don't think. Again, I'll try another class, see how I feel. So let me go ahead and shut this down. Thanks again before I ramble for another hour. It's been a pleasure, guys. Oh, I gotta get that VOD up on YouTube. I'm gonna have to split it up. I don't know how long I'm gonna split it up. Maybe into hour-long chunks.
How big is it?
It's